Chag Purim Sameach. Come on in, guys. Welcome, everybody. Come on in here. Woohoo! Boy, that worked. Okay, let's do it. Hello. Chag Purim Sameach. All you folks out there in the lobby area, the foyer, please come into the sanctuary. Nobody's hearing me. Yeah. Choosing.
Hey, you guys! Time to come in the sanctuary.
Hey, buddy. What's up, King? Bring it on in. Welcome to those of you guys who are joining us online. Welcome to Shalom Macon, Purim 5785 or 2025. And there's a cat right there, a mouse or a rodent of some sort. You're a cat. What are you? Chipmunk. Oh, I see. Okay, here we go. Squirrel. Is that what it says? What? Warrior cats. Nice. Thanks. Okay, tonight is way different from most of our other events in that it is way less formal and a little bit more chaotic, a lot more chaotic. But we are going to get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our travelers. Good to have you guys from Arkansas. I can say that because I'm from Arkansas, so I can make fun of it. We've got a really big shoe for tonight, really big shoe. So tonight we are going to, we've got a costume contest, and we'll have age brackets for that. We've got Purim trivia. We've got a search that we do every year called Find Esther's Rose. And then we're going to Nosh. If you don't know what that means, then welcome to a synagogue. We're going to eat. Then we're going to have a surprise that we're going to be able to bless you guys with tonight for the first time. And it may persist into the future things that we have on, that the kids are going to share with you, some of the kids. And then we're going to have some prizes. We're going to read the Megillah, and we're going to send you guys home with goodie bags. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Chag Purim Sameach. Happy Purim. It's good to have everybody with us. Miranda, where is she? She is. Here she is. Here she is. And I don't know that. Let's see. Elsa's sister is who? Princess Anna. Come on up here so people can hear you. And we'll use the podium mic here, because online people need to hear. Yeah, this is online. So I'm going to hand it over to you for just a minute.
First up is our kids costume contest. So kiddos 12 and under, go ahead and make your way to the front. $12 and under. All right, do I have my judges in here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, yep. Got one more. All right, judges, get your good look in. No, you're good. A rollaway donut. All right. Darren, do we have a mic where they can say what they are? Okay. If we can roll down the line and say what we are.
Tell us what you are.
Donut.
Okay, guys. Guys, listen up real quick. You got to be real quiet. Tell us what you are.
Donut.
She's a donut. She's a donut.
Ballerina.
She's a ballerina.
Squirrel flight from Warrior Cats.
Ooh, Squirrel Flat from Warrior Cats, the book series.
Police officer.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know. Something about it. No, I'm joking. Good job. Okay.
Army.
Army man. All right.
Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone.
Chris.
Chris. Oh, from Wildcrats. Nice. Who are you?
Astronaut.
Oh, he's an astronaut. Woo! Who are you?
I Elsa.
And Elsa, and who you got with you?
Olaf.
An Olaf. Woo!
I'm Theodore. From Alvin and Chipmunk.
Oh, Alvin and Chipmunks, Theodore. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't talk like Theodore. You need to have a higher voice. Try again.
Hi, I'm Theodore.
There you go. Well, you got to compete with that.
Well, Theodore has
Alvin! She's Alvin. And who are you?
I'm Simon.
No, try again.
Yes.
She's Simon. Okay, here we go, judges. Is that everybody? One winner. Yeah, never mind, Dave. I thought you were dressed up. Okay, let's explain our costumes. I guess we'll let you in here. Okay.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm just a sloth.
I'm the king.
Sorry, they call him Flash.
I'm the king's jester, who isn't funny.
Just your average tourist.
Persian Esther.
All right.
Anna from Frozen.
I'm Kristoff.
And he's lost in the woods.
I'm your Starbucks barista. I can make you what you want. And we're the donut duo.
Donut 1, Donut 2.
I'm Doc from Back to the Future. Woo! Marty McFly.
Marty McFly.
And my trusty
Jennifer.
girlfriend.
Unaffiliated Jedi Knight.
Right. Scary.
And listen here, my name is Deputy Barney Fife, and this is here Thelma Lou.
Thelma Lou with Barney.
Nice. Want to say something? Hi.
He's supposed to be Batman.
Okay. He says, I'm Batman.
I'm a butterfly.
With butterfly powers.
I'm the queen, and the king can make his own sandwich. Flapper.
What?
Flapper.
Flapjacks, what? I'm joking.
I'm Cokie. What's her name? Aviva. Aviva. You said Abiba. Aviva.
Okay. And Chris? Okay, this is all the Wildcrats. Not the aristocrats, but the Wildcrats. And then you guys. Oh, my goodness. We had a latecomer. Who are you, sir?
I'm a character from a video game called Among Us.
Among Us. Oh, my goodness. He's the impasta pasta. Oh, wait, we got some latecomers. Come on in. Come on, guys. Come on in, all the way. And tell us your character.
Is it not self-explanatory? No.
Some people just don't know.
Ziki, who are you?
Batman.
Robin.
You gotta say, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
There you go. Any more? Yeah, which Robin? That's the question. Okay. You want to tell you real quick?
Army.
Army. Woo! Okay, we got everybody? All right, judges, you be thinking about these characters in character and come to your conclusions. So, Judge, are we ready to dismiss? Okay, dismiss.
And we will hear from our judges in just a bit. For the time being, kiddos 12 and younger, go ahead and listen up. You're good? Okay. You are going to meet Miss Sabrina in the cafe area, kiddos 12 and under. Y'all are looking for Esther's rose. It will either be in the green space, in the fire pit area, not in the fire pit, in the fire pit area, or the pavilion or the playground. We do not need to get in any bushes or anything like that. So, y'all, you can go, baby. Yes, follow Miss Sabrina to the cafe area. Okay, while our kiddos are hunting for a rose, adults, go ahead, stand on up. It's time for Purim trivia. All right.
Kids who are arriving late, you can go with them on the hunt. Oh my goodness. Cody, come up here.
Please.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
For $300, you can join my 8-week program, Rex Kwando.
All right, the trivia. We've got corner A. We got corner B. C is over by the sound booth, and D is in the other back corner. If it is a true or false, you got either A for true or B for false. If you do not pick the right corner, you are eliminated. All right, with that, when there is a leap year, which month is Purim held in? A, Adar 1, B, March, C, Adar 2, D, Nisan. Adar 1, March, Adar 2, or Nisan. When there is a leap year, which month is Purim held? Don't everybody follow Dr. David. Correct. C, Adar. The word Purim means A, chance, B, lots, C, hidden, D, hope. The word Purim means chance, lots, hidden, or hope. Yes, B, lots. What other book besides Esther is God not mentioned? A, Ezra, B, Song of Solomon, C, Nehemiah, D, Judges. What other book besides Esther is God not mentioned? A, Ezra. B, Song of Solomon. C, Nehemiah. D, Judges. None of y'all gonna move? Correct, Song of Solomon. How many petals are on Esther's rose? A, 13. B, 18. C, 40. D, 70. How many petals are on Esther's rose? A, 13. B, 18. C, 40. D, 70. Is that your answer? You're eliminated. One down and 50 more to go. The Shabbat before Purim is called Shabbat. A, Zachor. B, Nakamu. C, Shuva. D, Haggadol. The Shabbat before Purim is called Shabbat. A, Zachor. B, Nakamu. C, Shuva. D, Haggadol. Okay. Y'all are correct. How many sons did Haman have? A, 7. B, 10. C, 12. D, 13. If you are not in corner B, you are eliminated. Traditionally, how many times is the Megillah read on Purim? A, 7, B, 3, C, 2, D, 1. 7, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Thank you, Holly. If you are not in corner C, you... I'm the one reading the questions. If you are not in C, you are eliminated. All right. Which of the evil men fell ill, resulting in his death on Purim? A, Amalek. B, Haman. C, Hitler. D, Stalin. Which of the evil men fell ill, resulting in his death on Purim? Amalek, Haman, Hitler, or Stalin? Going once. Going twice. I can't give you the answer. A, Amalek. B, Haman. C, Hitler. D, Stalin. All right, if you are not in corner D, you are eliminated. Okay, I read it like 5 times, guys. I don't believe that anything had to be explained to Dr. David. Okay. I will leave it to your other contestants on whether or not they give you grace. How about that? Okay. It is said, all right, let me clarify. It is said by some, it is not said in the Torah, it is said by some, this holiday, along with Purim, are the only holidays that will be celebrated when Mashiach reigns. Is it A, Passover, B, Sukkot, C, Yom Kippur, or D, Hanukkah? It is said by some, this holiday, along with Purim, are the only holidays that will be celebrated when Mashiach comes? Is it A, Passover, B, Sukkot, C, Yom Kippur, D, Hanukkah? Is anybody in corner D? Are you really? Okay. No, it was D, Hanukkah. So who do I have left? I said by some, not by me, just said by some. I said by some. I didn't say said by Torah. Let me preface that already. So, okay, if you are still in, go for it. True or false? True or false? Esther was vegetarian. Yeah, they're the only, nobody was in corner D. So if you were standing that last question, you're still in. Yeah, nobody was in corner D. So if you were still in that last question, you're still in it. All right, true or false? True or false? Esther was a vegetarian. Going once, going twice. A, true. She would not have had access to kosher meat. April Townsley, you're our winner. All right. Our kiddos back. Huh? She's in Persia. She is in Persia. She would not have access to kosher meat. Take it up with the rabbis on Google. All right. For kicks and giggles. How about that? These were our tiebreaker questions. Have we gotten that far? Today, Thursday, was the fast of Esther. How many minutes long was the fast in Macon, Georgia? How many minutes long would the fast have been in Macon, Georgia? A lot? Wow. Where's our math person? Where's Paul? Paul, do the math. Who said that? You said what? It was 8:17. All right, so Melissa guessed 8:40. Okay. Take it one step further. So last year, we had the fast of Esther. How many minutes shorter was this year than last year's fast? They were not the same time. What'd you say, Holly? 17. All right. Okay, with that, we were waiting for our kiddos. And then actually, if y'all want to, we can go ahead and make our way to desserts and get our sweet treats. Where's Darren? I will default to Darren. How about that? I said we could go ahead and eat, but it's not sunset yet. Then we're good by 22 minutes. So we're good. We can go ahead. You said 8:06. Hold on, what time is it? I'm looking at, okay, 7:28. Okay. I'm still not used to time change, so forgive me. Okay. Well, then feel free to mix and mingle until then. All right. Break the fast is at 8:06. It is 7:29. We got a little bit. So, okay.
So if this mic is still working, the concept, we've still got a couple of people trying to get here, but the concept is we have Groot. What's his name? Groot. Anyway, and his minion of minions. Okay. So we'll have the other part of our minion of minions here shortly when they get here. How are the kids doing? Are the kids done? Yeah, the kids are done? Okay. They're still what? Oh, we're still waiting on the kids. Okay, we're gonna chill for just a minute until the kids get through, and then we will go to our next thing. Our next thing. Okay? Chag Purim Sameach. Those of you guys online, I know a lot of this is just waiting around. It's like wondering what's going on. So bear with us, and we will get you guys engaged here in a minute. Okay, give us about 5 minutes, and we're going to rearrange the schedule just a little bit, and because the fast technically hasn't ended yet, so the kids are going to be coming in here in just a second, and we are going to have our big reveal of what the kids and the big kids have been working on, okay? And we'll reveal that, and you guys online will get to see everything just as probably better than we will. So hang tight, and we'll do that here in just a moment before we eat. Okay, if you can hear me, if there are people outside of the sanctuary that you know of, please go get them, tell them to come in here, because this is not an immediate repeat session. So we're going to do this one time, then I'll tell you how you can experience it again. Okay? So we had some amazing kids help us do something very special this year. And Sabrina had the idea, how many years ago? Sabrina, how many years ago? It's a long time ago, several years ago. She says, what if we did this? And we're like, oh, that'd be amazing, but man, how are we ever going to pull that off? And so, Baruch Hashem, over the years since, there's been a lot of changes that have happened, and we finally had all the pieces in place to be able to pull this off. So, do you need a second? They're getting people, just making sure. I'm just trying to stall as long as I can. I'm building up anticipation, especially for our online audience. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, cut the lights except for these up here for now. Actually, except for those. Hey, they're beside you, Lance. Okay, and then we'll cut these lights here in just a minute. So, I don't know how much of this I need to tell ahead of time, or just let it go, okay? So, here we go. This is a video presentation from Shalom Macon. Are you ready? And we are going to roll that beautiful bean footage.
A feast, and Queen Vashti would be left out. Guards, go get Queen Vashti. I will not. Send her to the dungeons immediately, and we'll pick a new queen. I will stay. No, you will not stay. Hey, you don't get to treat me like that. Yes, I do. Having a feast. I don't want your food. How dare you say that? I'm special. You need to be nice to me. Not until the next queen comes. I don't want to be here anymore. Okay, then you get thrown to the dungeons. Don't get me. I'm the queen. I will come when you're nice, but I won't come when you're mean. You will always come when I call you. No. Then I'll pick a new queen. Guards? Fine. I'm gonna get out of here anyway. I don't like this here. I heard that they're taking women and putting them in the king's palace to be a queen. I guess I may go. No. Ooh, I'll pick Esther. Go tell the king that 2 men are planning to kill the king. Okay. Oh, one more thing. Don't tell anybody that you're Jewish. 2 men are trying to kill you. Guards, go find those men and bring them to the dungeons to hang them immediately.
My name is Haman, and I am the king's right-hand man. Mordecai, bow down!
I don't bow down to people, I bow down to God.
King, people are not bowing down to you or me, and people are not following your rules.
Haman, what do you think we should do?
I think we should banish them and take them away from the city to where they go, all the way to North Carolina, to where they can never come back again.
I agree. We'll attack them at the 13th of Adar.
Thank you very much for agreeing with me.
We'll tell our people to fast for 3 days and pray, and I'll go see the king. Queen Esther, why are you here? Queen Esther, come forward. Queen Esther, what do you want? My king, I would like to invite you and Haman over to a dinner tonight. Sure, I'll come. I just can't sleep. Can somebody tell me a story?
I'm your right-hand man, I guess I'll tell you a story. La la la, once upon a time, la la la, whatever it is.
Wait, you mean Mordecai saved my life?
Yes, this is what the book says.
Haman, bring Mordecai through the town to give him honor immediately.
Okay, King. What would you like to do with him?
Bring him through the city for honor.
On what?
You, Haman, I want you to lead him on a horse through the city to give him honor tomorrow.
Dunk, 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 dunk.
Come in.
May we come in, Your Highness?
Yes.
Best. Give me another.
This is the best party. I love the sprites and food that you make. Thank you. Did you make it yourself? I actually ordered the pizza. What would you like? Anything you like, you deserve it. Somebody has tried to banish us in your dungeon. The Jews into your dungeon. And I'm a Jew. Amen. I sentence you to sudden, instant, immediate death. Gods, bring him to the dungeon to hang him. Get the string, connect to everywhere. Pull up. The end.
Here. Here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, bow. Yay! Woohoo!
I sentence you to sudden, instant, immediate death. God,
me?
Go bring him to the. Wait. You stay on. Wait, you stay on the seat. Help me! Help! Get the string, connect to neck, pull up.
Do you want some pizza?
Tie. The end.
All right. Fun stuff. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you real quick. It is about 10 till 8. In 40 minutes, this is the mic, not this. In 40 minutes, the standalone version of this will hit YouTube, and you'll be able to just watch this by itself. And so all of you guys go home and watch it. Share it. You guys online, share the mess out of it, and let's see what we can do to make put this on the map and let people have a good Purim. Okay? So, what's that? Okay. So, one thing that I want to say about this project is I want to recognize somebody that you did not see, and he did 9/10 of the work. Okay? And we couldn't have done it without him because he actually knew what he was doing when we didn't. And so, Mr. Jeremy Schoenwald, please stand. So we had the idea, and he came up and took charge.
Correction, 1/10. This guy edited and did 9/10.
So, but he came in, we had the idea, and he just took charge and made it happen when we would have been still trying to figure out what's going on, okay? And this was really unscripted. These kids were just like, we're trying to give them ideas for what, the scene is that we wanted to convey, and they were coming up with these lines and these hysterical, things and everything. So give these kids a hand. Are we ready? Okay, we're going to do prizes for costumes, and so I'm going to hand this back over to Miranda.
Now that y'all know my hiding spot, Oh, that was loud. Okay, so we know we have our four-corner trivia. That's Miss April Townsley. Getting her ready for Passover. And then Esther's Rose. That was found by Mr. Asa. Oh, Chris, that's right. Okay, and then our costume contest. Very close from what I've been told. Our kiddos, that's going to go to Daniel Boone. Mr. Caleb Slater. Okay, and then adults, Back to the Future was the favorite. Good thing y'all can all use this as a household. All right, thank you, everybody. This year's costumes were incredible.
All righty. How much time do we have? Still?
6 minutes.
Okay, we're going to get ready here to eat. Want to thank you guys for coming out. Want to thank all the people online for being with us and making this a special time. Rabbi is not with us, as you can tell, so that's sort of a bummer. But he got to do something really special. They've been in Israel. They're on their way back or making their way back. And so I am trying to do my best to fill in those big shoes, but we're having fun, so that's what matters. And we're going to get ready to eat. Is there anything else that I'm missing that we need to deal with before we eat? Now, I want to say this before we get ready to fall in line. The thing that's next is actually the most important part, is to read the Megillah. So after we get your food, we're going to... Are we, where's Miranda? You out there? Where are we eating? Back in the back or in here or where? Okay, so we could technically begin the reading while we're eating. Okay, that's good. So that way people won't have to wait so long for people to have to get home, get to bed, and turn to pumpkins like I do. Okay, so we're going to read the Megillah as soon as everybody gets their foods and everything, get going. And we've got some people that have taken some time, some gentlemen who have taken some effort to try to begin learning parts of the Megillah, of canting it. And it's just tiny, tiny, tiny parts, but it's a start, okay? You got to start somewhere. We're starting very small. We did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. Got a few new guys that are helping us out, which we're very thankful for. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and give a blessing and for the food, and then we will start lining up. And is there an order or a way you want to do this? Out this door or that door? Okay, this door. We're going to go to the side door. We're going to go follow around and come back that way. Okay, around and back. So for you... Okay, coffee and extras on the other part, on the coffee bar area there. So please... adults, be with your children, help them out, just so we don't get fingers and noses and hands on food and stuff like that, because that's my job. So, to put never mind. Okay, it is Purim. I'm trying to be funny, okay? It's just not working. Who's the, I'm the jester that's not funny. So, at this time, we will give a blessing and file in, and I didn't know if there was an order you want to dismiss in. Okay. We'll just do it. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecho niyeh bivaro. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, by whose word all things came to be. Amen. Go.
feast and Queen Vashti would be left out. Guards, go get Queen Vashti. I will not. Send her to the dungeons immediately. And we'll pick a new queen. I will stay. No, you will not stay. Hey, you don't get to treat me like that. Yes, I do. Having a feast. I don't want your food. How dare you say that? I'm special. You need to be nice to me. Not until the next queen comes. I don't want to be here anymore. Okay, then you get thrown to the dungeons. Don't get me. I'm the queen. I will come when you're nice, but I won't come when you're mean. You will always come when I call you. No. Then I'll pick a new queen. Guards? Fine. I'm gonna get out of here anyway. I don't like it here.
I heard that they're taking women and putting them in the king's palace to be a queen.
I guess I may go. No. Ooh, I'll pick Esther.
God tell the king that 2 men are planning to kill the king.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. Don't tell anybody that you're Jewish.
2 men are trying to kill you. Guards, go find those men and bring them to the dungeons to hang them immediately.
My name is Haman, and I am the king's right-hand man. Mordecai, bow down!
I don't bow down to people, I bow down to God.
King, people are not bowing down to you or me, and people are not following your rules.
Haman, what do you think we should do?
I think we should banish them and take them away from the city to where they go, all the way to North Carolina, to where they can never come back again.
I agree. We'll attack them at the 13th of Adar.
Thank you very much for agreeing with me.
We'll tell our people to fast for 3 days and pray, and I'll go see the king. Queen Esther, why are you here? Queen Esther, come forward. Queen Esther, what do you want? My king, I would like to invite you and Haman over to a dinner tonight. Sure, I'll come. I just can't sleep. Can somebody tell me a story?
I'm your right-hand man, I guess I'll tell you a story. La la la, once upon a time, la la la, whatever it is.
Wait, you mean Mordecai saved my life?
Yes, this is what the book says.
Haman, bring Mordecai through the town to give him honor immediately.
Okay, King. What would you like to do with him?
Bring him through the city for honor.
On what?
You, Haman, I want you to lead him on a horse through the city to give him honor tomorrow.
Dunk, 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 dunk.
Come in.
May we come in, Your Highness?
Yes.
Best. Give me another.
This is the best party. I love the sprites and food that you make. Thank you. Did you make it yourself?
I actually ordered the pizza.
What would you like? Anything you like, you deserve it. Somebody has tried to banish us in your dungeon. The Jews into your dungeon. And I'm a Jew. Amen. I sentence you to sudden instant, immediate death. Gods, bring him to the dungeon to hang him. Get the string, connect to everywhere. Pull up. The end.
Next here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, bow. Yay! Whoa! Woohoo!
I sentence you to sudden, instant, immediate death. God,
Me?
Go bring him to the. Wait. You stay on. Wait, you stay on the seat. Help me! Get the string, connect to neck, pull up.
Do you want some pizza?
Tie. The end.
check.
Okay, welcome back, Mr. Carter. So we are about to get started with the Megillah reading. So you guys out in the foyer area, if you guys want to start making your way back in, Miranda has some announcements to start us off.
All right, guys, as you're making your way in, because we will be starting the Megillah in about 5 or so minutes. Number one, Purim is an incredible opportunity for tzedakah. We have a couple of different opportunities. Number one, we have a canned food / non-perishable foods box in the back where Mr. Jeff Turner is. Mr. Jeff, can you raise your hand? Yep. Look for the minion over there. That will be there through the weekend. That will go to Macon Rescue. That will be towards our local folks. And then if you remember, Miss Judy, I'm losing her last name. Snyder? Seidner. Close. Miss Judy her. She has started Operation Equip. If you look over at our tzedakah box, there is a smaller black tzedakah box, and all the money that's raised tonight and tomorrow night before Shabbat, that will be going straight to Operation Equip. Let's see. Okay, for our folks who are in-house tonight, if you brought food, much appreciated, please take it home. We have nowhere for it in the kitchen right now. So if you brought it, take it home with you. Last, I hope that everybody is able to stay through the entire part of the Megillah, but if you have to leave, go home at any point in time, whether it's early or you can stay through the whole thing, please grab a goodie bag. If you don't grab a goodie bag, we will all be eating hamantash until the day before Passover. Please and thank you. Also, back row, middle of the, yep. Ian, can you, or no, you're not Ian. Yes, the mime. Can you please pick one up and, show what we got? If you are hanging out for the Megillah reading, go ahead and get your groggers. Thank you.
Okay, so as Miranda said, we're about to get into the Megillah reading. So can you guys hear me out in the lobby? Okay. It's Purim. We have a lot of crazies. Okay, as you can see, the noisemakers are being passed out. Why do we have noisemakers? Why do we have noisemakers? What's the purpose? To drown somebody out. When the name what? Boo! Whenever we say the name Haman or Haman, we say boo. We make noise. Why? I said why? Because we are supposed to obliterate the memory of Amalek. And Haman is a direct descendant of Amalek, okay? So, and we have Megillot on the back table back there, your book of Esther. So if you will take a moment to go grab one, this is what we will be reading from. We are reading the whole book of Esther. We are going to be reading Ba'anglit in English. We're going to be reading a few lines B'ivrit, which is in Hebrew. But the vast majority is going to be actually all of it's in Hebrew. We'll add some parts in English. We'll add some parts in Hebrew. Okay, we're going to have a few different readers come up, and there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be readers that are going to be canting a few lines in Hebrew from each of the chapters. So if you are a man who is doing that, be sure to be ready for your part. Do not wait. Once we get towards the end of the chapter, before your time, please start making your way up to the bima. Any other instructions? These books Let me verify something before I tell you wrong. Okay, I was about to tell you wrong. These books, even though they're the book of Esther and Megillah, and they don't have the name of Hashem in them, they have prayers before and after that do. So be careful with these books, please. Don't set them on the ground, step on them, do that kind of stuff on these, okay? So treat them with respect. If you do not have a book, go grab a book from Minion Dave. Nice. All righty. You want to say the bracha? Brachot? Yeah. Okay, we are about to get started, and Baruch Hashem, Steve is standing up here. Okay, so we're going to do the blessings for the. No, we'll start right here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu al mikra Megillah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שעושה ניסה לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen. Okay, we are going to begin. We are on page 56, 57 in your book with chapter 1 of Megillah Esther.
Let me find the second one just so I have it ready. ויהי בימי אחשוורוש, הוא אחשוורוש המלך מהודו ויעקוש 720 מדינה. אחר הדברים האלה תשוך חמאס המלך אחשוורוש זכר את ושתי ויש אשר עשושה ויש אשר נגזר עליה. I get some help to get down? What? I already did. Huh? I did.
We're going to read English. Go ahead and get down.
I'll tell you what I need. I might be able to do this myself. Down is always easier than up.
Okay, now we're going to read the English. I'm going to be calling on you guys to help us read. So Eric's going to take the first chapter, first two chapters.
First two chapters?
Yeah, he's already read 2 chapters, so you get double duty.
Oh, great. Okay.
So we have a tradition at Shalom Macon for Purim. The readers have a special duty. Anybody know what that duty is?
I get to pick a hat?
Yeah.
Any hat?
Any hat.
Marty McShark, that's good. All right. And it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, he is Ahasuerus, who reigned from Hodu to Cush, 127 provinces. In those days when King Ahasuerus sat on his royal throne, which is in Shushan, the capital, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast for all of his officials and his servants, the army of Persia and Media, the nobles and officials of the provinces being present, when he displayed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his splendorous majesty for many days, 180 days. That's some party. And when these days were fulfilled, the king made a 7-day feast for all the people who were present in Shushan, the capital, great and small alike, in the courtyard of the garden of the king's palace. There were hangings of white, fine cotton, and turquoise, wool held with cords of fine linen and purple wool, upon silver rods and marble pillars. The couches of gold and silver were on a pavement of variegated marble. The drinks were served in golden vessels, vessels of diverse form, and royal wine in abundance, in accordance with the king's wealth. And the drinking was according to the law. There was no coercion. For so the king had established for every officer of his house to do according to each man's pleasure. Queen Vashti also made a feast for the women in the royal house of the king Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he told Mehuman, Bezithah, Harbonah, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains who attended King Ahasuerus, to bring Queen Vashti before the king, adorned with a royal crown, to show off to the people and the officials for her beauty, for she was beautiful in appearance. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command, conveyed by the hand of the chamberlains. The king therefore became very enraged, and his wrath burned in him. Then the king spoke to the wise men, those who knew the times, for such was the king's procedure, to turn to all who knew law and judgment. Those closest to him, Karshena, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Merez, Marsena, and Memucan, the 7 officers of Persia and Media, who had access to the king, who sat first in the kingdom. By the law, what should be done to Queen Vashti for not having obeyed the bidding of a King Ahasuerus by the hand of the chamberlains? Memucan declared before the king and the officials, not only against the king has Queen Vashti done wrong, you go girl, but against all the officials and all the people in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus. For the queen's deed will come to the attention of all women, making their husbands contemptible in their eyes, when they will say, King Ahasuerus said to Queen Vashti before him, but she did not come. And this day the princes of Persia and Media who have heard of the queen's deed will speak of it to all the king's officials, and there will be much contempt and rage. If it pleases the king, let there go forth a royal edict from him, and let it be written into the laws of Persia and Media, that it not be revoked, that Vashti never again will appear before King Ahasuerus. And let the king confer her royal estate upon another who is better than she. Then the king's decree, which he will proclaim, shall be heard throughout all his kingdom, great though it be. And all the wives will show respect to their husbands, great and small alike. This proposal was favorable in the eyes of the king and the officials, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. And he sent letters into all the king's provinces, to each province in its own script, and each people in its own language, to the effect that every man should rule in his own house and speak the language of his own people. You said chapter 2 also? Chapter 2. After these things, when the wrath of the king Ahasuerus, you guys don't taper off on me now. You're losing your energy. It subsided. He remembered Vashti. Here we go. And what she had done, and what had been decreed against her. Then the king's attendants said, let there be sought for the king young maidens of beautiful appearance, and let the king appoint commissioners in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they gathered together every young maiden of beautiful appearance to Shushan the capital, to the harem under the charge of Haggai, the king's chamberlain, guardian of the women, and let their cosmetics be given them. Then let the girl who pleases the king reign in place of Vashti. The matter pleased the king, and he did so. There was a Jewish woman in Shushan, the capital, there was a Jewish man in Shushan, the capital, whose name was Mordecai. There you go. Son of Jair, son of Shimei, son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been exiled from Jerusalem along with the exiles who had been exiled with Jeconiah, the king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had exiled. Blah, 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 blah. And he had reared Hadassah, she is Esther. Oh, the uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. The maiden was finely featured and beautiful of appearance. And when her father and mother had died, Mordecai adopted her as his daughter. Oh, chapter 2 is long. So it came to pass when the king's bidding and decree were announced, and when many young maidens were being brought together to Shushan the capital under the charge of Haggai, that Esther was taken to the king's palace under the charge of Haggai, guardian of the women. The girl was pleasing in his eyes, and she found favor before him. He hurriedly prepared her cosmetics and her allowance of delicacies to present to her, along with the 7 attendants from the king's palace, and he transferred her and her maidens to the best quarters in the harem. Esther had not told of her people or her kindred, for Mordecai had instructed her not to tell. Day after day, Mordecai would walk about in front of the courtyard of the harem to learn about Esther's well-being and what would become of her. Now, when each maiden's turn arrived to come to King Ahasuerus, after having been treated according to the law prescribed for women for 12 months, of course, that's a long time getting ready, for so was the prescribed length of their anointed accomplishment, 6 months with oil of myrrh and 6 months with perfumes and feminine cosmetics. And when the girl came in this manner to the king, she was given whatever she requested to accompany her from the harem to the king's palace. In the evening she would come, and in the morning she would return to the second harem in the charge of Shazgaz, the king's chamberlain, guardian of the concubines. She would never again come to the king unless the king desired her, and she was summoned by name. Now when the turn came for Esther, daughter of Abihail, uncle of Mordecai, who had adopted her as his daughter, to come to the king, she requested nothing except that which Haggai, the king's chamberlain, guardian of the women, had advised. Esther would find favor in the eyes of all who saw her. Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus into his royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tevet, in the 7th year of his reign. The king loved Esther more than all the women, and she found favor and kindness before him than all the other maidens, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen in place of Vashti. Then the king made a great banquet for all his officers and his servants. It was Esther's banquet, and he proclaimed an amnesty for the provinces and gave gifts worthy of the king's hand. And when the maidens were gathered together the second time, and Mordecai sat at the king's gate, Esther still told nothing of her kindred, of her people, as Mordecai had instructed her. For Esther continued to obey Mordecai just as when she was reared by him. In those days, while Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, Bigthan and Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, or the guardians of the threshold, became enraged and sought to send their hand against King Ahasuerus. The matter became known to Mordecai, who then told it to Queen Esther And Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. The matter was investigated and found to be true, and they were both sent to the island of perpetual tickling. No, that's Veggie Tales. They were both hanged on a gallows. It was recorded in the book of Chronicles in the king's presence. That's the end of chapter 2. Who will read chapter 3? Pick your hat. You guys pick a hat.
Yeah, I got the same hat or a different hat? All right. Akar hadavarim ha'ele gido hamelech Akashverosh et Haman bin Hamedata ha'agagi ve'yanaseu ve'yasem ekiso me'al O Hasarim Asherito. After these things, King Ahasuerus promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and elevated him. He set his seat above all the officers who were with him. All the king's servants at the king's gate would bow down and prostrate themselves before Haman. For so had the king commanded concerning him, but Mordecai would not bow and would not prostrate himself. So the king's servants who were with the king's gate said to Mordecai, "Why do you disobey the king's command?" Now it happened when they had said this to him, day after day, he did not heed them. They told Haman to see whether Mordecai words would prevail, for he had told them he was a Jew. When Haman himself saw that Mordecai did not bow down and prostrate himself before him, Haman was filled with wrath. However, it seemed contemptible to him to send his hand against Mordecai alone, for they had told him the people of Mordecai. So Haman sought to destroy all the Jews who were throughout the entire kingdom of Ahasuerus. The people of Mordecai, in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of the king of Ahasuerus, Pur, that is the lot, was cast in the presence of Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, "There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your realm. Their laws are different from every other people, and they do not observe the king's laws. Therefore, it is not befitting the king to tolerate them. If it pleases the king, let it be recorded that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 silver talents into the hands of those who perform the duties for deposit in the king's treasuries." So the king removed a signet ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, enemy of the Jews. Then the king said to Haman, "The silver is given to you, the people also, to do with as ye see fit." The king's scribes were summoned on the 13th day of the first month, and everything was written exactly as Haman had dictated to the king's satraps, to the governors who were over every province, and to the officials of every people, to each province in its own script, and to each people its own language. It was written in the name of King Ahasuerus, and it was sealed with the king's signet ring. Letters were sent by courier to all the provinces of the king to destroy, to slay, and exterminate all the Jews, from young to old, children and women, in one day, on the 13th of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to plunder their possessions. Copies of the document were to be promulgated in every province and be published to all peoples. For them to be prepared for that day, the couriers went forth hurriedly by order of the king, and the edict was distributed in Shushan, the capital. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was bewildered. Is he reading the fourth? I need to chant the fourth. Okay. Mordecai yada ekol asher nasa vayikra Mordecai ebagado vayubasha vaefer vayetze betokayir vayitza zeaka gerula umara.
All right, new guy, Mordecai, learned of all that had been done, and Mordecai tore his clothes and donned sackcloth and ashes. He went out into the midst of the city and cried a loud and bitter cry. He came until the front of the king's gate, for it was forbidden to enter the king's gate in a garment of sackcloth. And in every province, any place the king's command and his decree extended, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and lament. Sackcloth and ashes were spread out for the masses. And Esther's maidens came, as well as her chamberlains, and told her about it, and the queen was greatly distressed. She sent garments to clothe Mordecai and to remove his sackcloth from upon him, but he would not accept them. Then Esther summoned Haktoth, one of the king's chamberlains whom he had stationed before her, and ordered him to go to Mordecai to learn what this was about and why. So Hathach went out to Mordecai to the city square, which was in front of the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened to him, and about the sum of money that Haman had promised to pay to the royal treasuries for the annihilation of the Jews. He also gave him a copy of the text of the decree that was distributed in Shushan for their destruction, so that he might show it to Esther and inform her, and bid her to go to the king, to implore of him and to plead with him for her people. Hathach came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Then Esther told Hathach and ordered him to return to Mordecai, saying, all the king's servants and all the people of the king's provinces know that any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court who is not summoned, his law is one, to be put to death, except for the one to whom the king shall extend the gold scepter so that he may live. Now I have not been summoned to come to the king for these past 30 days. They related Esther's words to Mordecai. Then Mordecai said to reply to Esther, "Do not imagine in your soul that you will be able to escape in the king's palace any more than the rest of the Jews. For if you persist in keeping silent at a time like this, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from another place, while you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether it was just for such a time as this that you attained the royal position." Then Esther said to reply to Mordecai, "Go assemble all the Jews that are to be found in Shushan and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. And I, with my maids, will fast also. Thus I will come to the king, though it is unlawful, and if I perish, I perish." Mordecai then left and did exactly as Esther had commanded him.
Am I reading 5 or no? Oh, he's doing the Hebrew. Go first? No, I think I do. I do the Hebrew first, right? Okay. Vayehi bayohom hashlishi vatilbash Esther malchut vata'amod vachatzar beit hamelech hapinimit nochach beit hamelech vahamelech Yoshev Al kisei malchuto beveit hamalchut nochach petach habayit. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day, Esther donned royally and stood in the inner court of the king's palace, facing the king's palace, while the king was sitting on his royal throne in the royal palace, facing the entrance of the palace. When the king noticed Queen Esther standing in the courtyard, she found favor in his eyes. The king extended to Esther the gold scepter that was in his hand, and Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. The king said to her, "What is it for you, O Queen Esther? And what is your petition? Even if it be until half the kingdom, it shall be granted you." Esther said, "If it please the king, let the king and," I'm going to say his name, Haman, "come today to the banquet that I have prepared for him." Then the king commanded, "Hasten Haman to fulfill Esther's word." So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. The king said to Esther during the wine feast, "What is your request? It shall be granted you. And what is your petition? Even if it be until half the kingdom, it shall be fulfilled." So Esther responded and said, "My request and my petition. If I have found favor in the king's eyes, and if it pleases the king to grant my request and to fulfill my petition, Let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and tomorrow I shall fulfill the king's word. That day, Haman went out joyful and exuberant. But when Haman noticed Mordecai in the king's gate, and that he did not stand up and did not stir before him, Haman was filled with wrath at Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman restrained himself and went home. He sent and summoned his friends and his wife Zeresh. Haman recounted to them the glory of his wealth and of his many sons, and all the ways in which the king had promoted him and elevated him above the officials and royal servants. Haman said, "Moreover, Queen Esther brought no one but myself to accompany the king to the banquet that she had prepared. And tomorrow, too, I am invited by her, along with the king. Yet all this is worth nothing to me, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate." So his wife Zeresh, as well as all his friends, said to him, "Let them make a gallows 50 cubits high, and in the morning speak to the king and have them hang Mordecai on it. Then accompany the king to the banquet in good spirits." This suggestion pleased Haman, and he had the gallows made.
B'layla hahu nadida shenat hamelech vayomer lehavi et sefer hazikronot divrei hayamim vayiyu nikraim lifnei hamelech.
That night the king's sleep was disturbed, so he commanded the book of records, the Chronicles, that they had read to be read before the king. And it was found written there that Mordecai had denounced Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's Cumberlands and of the guardians of the threshold, who had sought to send their hand against King Ahasuerus. The king said, "What honor or majesty has been done for Mordecai?" For this, the king's attendants, his magistrates, said, "Nothing has been done for him." And the king said, "Who is in the courtyard?" Now Haman, just coming into the outer court, was someone? Oh, okay, sorry, I thought someone was calling my name. Sorry, I lost my place. The king said, "Who is in the courtyard?" Now Haman was just coming into the outer courtyard of the royal palace to speak to the king about hanging Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. So the king's attendant said to him, "Behold, Haman stands in the courtyard." And the king said, "Let him enter." Haman entered, and the king said to him, "What should be done for a man whom the king desires to honor?" And Haman said in his heart, "Whom would the king especially want to honor other than me?" So Haman said to the king, "For the man whom the king desires to honor, have him bring royal attire that the king has worn, and a horse upon which the king has ridden, one with a royal crown placed on its head. And let the attire and let the attire and the horse be given over to the hand of the one of the king's most noble officials, and let them dress the man whom the king desires to honor, and let him ride on the horse through the town square, and let them proclaim before him, this is what shall be done for the man whom the king, the man who the king desires to honor. And then the king said to Haman, hurry, take the attire and the horse, as you have said, and do all this for Mordecai, the Jew who sits at the king's gates. Do not omit a single detail of all that you suggested. So Haman took the garment and the horse and dressed Mordecai and had him ride through the city square and proclaimed before him, this is what shall be done for the man whom the king desires to honor. Mordecai returned to the king's gates, but Haman hurried home, despondent and with his head covered. Haman told his wife Zeresh and all his friends everything that happened to him, and his wise men and his wife Zeresh said to him, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is of Jewish descent, you will not prosper against him, but it will undoubtedly fail before him. It will undoubtedly fall before him. While they were still talking with him, the king's chamberlains arrived, and they hurried to bring Haman to the banquet which Esther had prepared.
Okay, give me a hat. Hello. Is that right? Is it forward or backwards? Oh yeah, it's backwards. Yeah, but so am I. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we are in chapter 7. Pretend you don't see this. I'm going to be cheating. Vayomer Hamelech. I'm in the wrong chapter, sorry. There we go. Vayavo Hamelech Halehaman Lishtot Im Esther Hamalka. We have these two young ladies who are going to split up chapter 7 for us. Okay, go for it.
So
where
am I
you
reading
read
to?
down to through verse 5. She'll start at verse 6.
So the king and Haman came to feast with Queen Esther. The king asked Esther again on the second day at the wine feast, when is your request, Queen Esther? It shall be granted you. And what is your petition? Even if it be until half the kingdom, it shall be fulfilled. So Queen Esther responded and said, hold up. I can't see.
You're gonna move your hat.
Like, I got a hair. Where am I? Responded and said, if I have found favor in your eyes, O king, and if it pleases the king, let my life be granted to me as my request, and my pupil as my petition. For we have been sold, and my people to be destroyed, to be slain, and to be exterminated. had we been sold as slaves and made servants. I would have kept quiet, for the adversary is not worthy of the king's demand. Damage. Thereupon King Ahasuerus exclaimed and said to Queen Esther,
Aww.
"Who is this? Where is this one who would dare to do so?"
And Esther said, "A man who is in the adversary of an enemy, this wicked Haman." Haman trembled in fear before the king and queen. The king rose in his wrath from the wine feast and went into the palace garden, while Haman remained to beg Queen Esther for his soul, for he saw that evil had been determined against him by the king. Then the king returned from the palace garden into the hall of the wine feast. Haman had fallen into the couch upon which Esther was, as the king exclaimed, "Would he actually insult the queen?" That's what I said. Assault the queen while I'm in the house. As soon as the king uttered this, they covered Haman's face. Harbonah. Then Harbonah, one of the chamberlains in attendance before the king, said, "Furthermore, the gallows which Haman made for Mordecai,
Hip, hip, hooray!
who spoke good for the king, is standing in Haman's house. It is 50 cubits high," and the king said, "Hang him on it." So they hanged Haman on the gallows that had been prepared for Mordecai.
Hip, hip, hooray!
And the king's anger was abated.
Good job. Okay, reader 8 can come up at this time. Bayom hahu Natan Hamelech Achashverosh Esther Hamalka Et Beit Haman Doror Hayudim Umordechai Ba Lifnei Hamelech Ki Higida Esther Mahula.
That very day, King Ahasuerus gave the estate of Haman, the enemy of the Jews, to Queen Esther. Mordecai came before the king, for Esther told the king what he was to her. The king removed his signet ring, which he had taken away from Haman, and gave it to Mordecai. And Esther put Mordecai in charge of Haman's estate. Esther yet again spoke to the king. She fell at his feet and wept and implored him to avert the evil intention of Haman the Agagite and his scheme that he had plotted against the Jews. The king extended the gold scepter to Esther, and Esther arose and stood before the king. She said, "If it pleases the king, and if I have found favor before him, and the proposal seems proper before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to countermand those dispatches, the scheme of Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, in which he had written to exterminate the Jews who are in all the king's provinces. For how can I bear witness to the disaster which will befall my people? How can I bear to witness the extermination of my kindred?" Then King Ahasuerus said to Queen Esther and to Mordecai the Jew, "Behold, I have given Haman's estate to Esther, and they have hanged him on the gallows because he sent his hand against the Jews. You may write it concerning the Jews, whatever is favorable in your eyes, in the name of the king, and seal it with the king's signet. For an edict which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's signet may not be revoked. So they summoned the king's scribe at that time in the 3rd month, which is the month of Sivan, on its 23rd day, and it was written as Mordecai had dictated to the Jews and to the satraps, the governors, and the officials of the provinces from Hodu to Cush, 127 provinces, to each province in his own script, and each people in its own language, and to the Jews in their own script and language. He wrote in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed it with the king's signet. He sent dispatches by couriers on horseback, riders of swift mules, bred of mares, to the effect that the king had given permission to the Jews of every city to organize and to defend themselves, to destroy, to slay, and to exterminate every armed force of any people or province that threatened them, along with their children and women, and to plunder their possessions. On one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, that is, the month of Adar, copies of the document were to be promulgated in every province, be published to all peoples, for the Jews to be prepared for that day to avenge themselves on their enemies. The couriers, riders of swift mules, went forth in urgent haste by word of the king, and the edict was distributed in Shushan, the capital.
Okay, something we haven't been doing, we missed one, we got the rest to go though, is these parts in bold, we're all supposed to say it together. So you'll slow down and let us say it together with you, okay? These are the critical moments.
Are we ready?
Hey, 75.
Mordecai left the king's presence clad in royal apparel of turquoise and white, with a large gold crown and a robe of fine linen and purple. Then the city of Shushan was cheerful and glad. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. In every province and in every city, every place where the king's word and his decree reached, the Jews had gladness and joy, a feast and a holiday. Moreover, many from among the people of the land professed themselves Jews, for fear of the Jews had fallen upon them.
Cantor for 9 and 10. Oh, that's you.
Okay, chapter 9, verse 1. Uvishneim asar chodesh hu chodesh adar bishlosha asar yom bo asher higia devar hamelech v'dato leheasot bayom asher siberu oyevei hayehudim lishlot bahem v'nahafochu asher yishlatu hayehudim hema b'sonehem.
Darren gave me the chapter with a bunch of names I cannot pronounce, so. Okay. Then in the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, on its 13th day, when the king's command and edict were about to be enforced, on the day that the enemies of the Jews expected to prevail over them, and it was turned about, the Jews prevailed over their adversaries. The Jews organized themselves in their cities in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to send forth their hand against those who sought their hurt, and no man could stand before them, for fear of them had fallen upon all the peoples. And all the officials of the provinces, satraps, and the governors, and those that conduct the king's affairs, exalted the Jews, for the fear of Mordecai had fallen upon them. For Mordecai was now preeminent in the royal palace, and his fame was spreading throughout all the provinces. For the man Mordecai grew increasingly greater, and the Jews struck at all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, slaughtering and annihilating. They treated their enemies as they pleased. In Shushan, the capital, the Jews slew and annihilated 500 men, and
All these names?
Here, ready?
Okay. You can do it. Just
Okay.
do the best you can. Go.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You can do it. Go for it. Better.
Harshandatha and Dolphin and Aspatha and Paratha and Adalia and Aradatha and Parmashta, Arisai and Aradai and Vazatha, sons of Haman, sons of Hamadatha, the Jews' enemy. But they did not lay their hands on the spoils. That same day, the number of those killed in Shushan, the capital, was reported to the king. The king said to Queen Esther, in Shushan, the capital, the Jews have slain and annihilated 500 men, as well as the 10 sons of Haman. Or Haman. Is Haman the correct way? What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? What is your request now? It shall be granted you. What is your petition further? It shall be fulfilled. Esther replied, if it pleases the king, let tomorrow also be given to the Jews who are in Shushan to act as they did today, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged on the gallows. The king ordered that this be done, and a decree was distributed in Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. The Jews that were in Shushan assembled again on the 14th day of the month of Adar and slew 300 men in Shushan, but they did not lay their hand on the spoils. The rest of the Jews that were in the king's provinces assembled and defended themselves, gaining relief from their foes, slaying 75,000 of their enemies, but they did not lay their hand on the spoils. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, and they gained relief on its 14th day, making it a day of feasting and gladness. But the Jews that were in Shushan assembled on both its 13th day and its 14th, and they gained relief on its 15th, making it a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore, Jewish villagers who lived in unwalled towns celebrate the 14th day of the month of Adar as an occasion of gladness, feasting, and festival, and for sending delicacies to one another. Mordecai recorded these events and sent letters to all the Jews who were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, the near ones and the distant ones, charging them to observe annually the 14th day of the month of Adar and its 15th day, as the days on which the Jews gained relief from their enemies, and the month which had been turned about for them from one of sorrow to gladness, and from mourning to festival, to observe them as days of feasting and gladness, and sending delicacies to one another, and gifts to the poor. The Jews undertook to continue that which they had begun, just as Mordecai had prescribed to them. For Haman, son of Hamadatha the Agagite, enemy of all the Jews, had plotted to annihilate the Jews and had cast a pur, that is the lot, to terrify and to annihilate them. But when she appeared before the king, he commanded by means of letters that Haman's wicked scheme, which he had devised against the Jews, should recoil on his own head. And they hanged him and his sons on the gallows. Therefore, they called these days Purim, for the word pur. Therefore, because of all that was written in this letter, and because of what they had seen concerning this, and what has happened to them, the Jews confirmed and undertook upon themselves and their posterity, and upon all who might join them, without fail, to observe these 2 days in their prescribed manner, and in their proper time each year. And these days should be remembered and celebrated by every generation, every family, every province, and every city. And these days of Purim should never cease among the Jews, nor shall their remembrance perish from their descendants. Then Queen Esther, daughter of Abihail, wrote, along with Mordecai, the Jew, with full authority to ratify the second letter of Purim. Dispatches were sent to all the Jews, to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus,
Long live the king.
with words of peace and truth, to establish these days of Purim on their proper dates, just as Mordecai, the Jew, and Queen Esther had enjoined them, and as they had confirmed upon themselves and their posterity the matter of the fasts and their lamentations. Esther's ordinance confirmed these regulations for Purim, and it was recorded in the book.
Didn't volunteer.
Hey, you got voluntold. Gotta have Rex Kwando reading.
Rex Kwando.
Have your hat.
Out here, Sensei.
Oh, you're gonna do that? Here,
It's gonna
just
fit on my head.
Just take my book. Yeah, I've got it.
Someone got it.
She'll cant this first verse. Oh, she's gonna do all
None
three
of
of
these
these.
fit my head.
Oh.
What does that say?
Sure.
I know, right? I'm very smart.
This huge one? There you go. Okay, here you go.
Okay, chapter 10. Vayasem hamelech Achashverosh mas al haaretz ve'retz ve'yehayam v'chol ma'aseh tokpo ugvurato ufarashat gedulat Mordechai asher gidelo hamelech halohem ketuvim al sefer divrei hayamim lemalchei madai ufaras Ki Mordechai haYehudim Mishnei lamelech Achashverosh Vegadol laYehudim Varatzui lerov echav Doresh tov la'amo V'dover shalom l'chozaro.
King Ahasuerus levied a tax on the mainland in the island of the sea. All his mighty and powerful acts and the account of the greatness of Mordecai, whom the king had promoted and recorded in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia. For Mordecai, the Jew is, what is it?
Let's say this together, guys. For Mordecai the Jew was viceroy to King Ahasuerus. He was a great man among the Jews and found favor with the multitude of his brethren. He sought the good of his people and spoke for the welfare of all his seed. That was easy. Thank you. Okay, Dr. David. I'd like for you to lead us in the blessing. So it says, this blessing is not recited unless a minion is present for the reading. Well, we have a photo witness that we have a minion of minions.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher. I'm going to switch.
Yeah, there you go.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, the King of the universe, who takes up our grievances, judges our claim, avenges our wrong, who brings just retribution upon all enemies of our soul, and exact vengeance for us from our foes. Blessed are you, Adonai, who exacts vengeance for his people, Israel, and from all their foes, the God who brings salvation. And everyone says, Amen.
Amen. Okay, we have read Esther. We have blotted out the name of Haman. We've had fun. We have done new things, experienced new things. Now your next task is to bring joy to somebody else, okay? And that's the way we're going to end this note on, unless Miranda has any more announcements that we need to be aware of. Okay, so when we depart, you don't have to leave immediately, but when you do, two things. One, get your junk, including kids. We're not going to take your kids unless we bring them back with a Red Bull and a puppy dog, as they say. That's right, puppy dog's $2,800. And then be sure every person grab a goodie bag on your way out on the left on the shelving out there, okay? We have one for everyone at least, okay? So be sure to grab those as you go out and bless somebody tonight. We are here, we're supposed to bring joy and light and gladness, right? I mean, Hashem brought that to the Jews at this time. We are to bring it to one another at this time. And so just want to encourage us to do that, bring joy and gladness to one another, be a blessing to one another. Chag Purim Sameach. Thank you for joining us, for those of you who joined us online.